So we're currently at the third version of the AirPods Pro. Version 1 came out in 2019, version 2 came out in 2022 and significantly improved the sound quality and active noise cancelling thanks to the new H2 chip, in addition to the Find My functionality for the case and just tons of new software features like adaptive audio and conversation awareness. And then version 3 came out in September of this year and updated the port to USB Type-C, updated the dust resistance on the case, and updated the H2 chip inside to support lossless audio when paired with the Apple Vision Pro. But you see, in all of these versions, the design hasn't really changed. There were some wild rumors that Apple would remove the stem and give us these Galaxy Buds-like AirPods, but that hasn't happened. In fact, the only design change that we got wasn't with the AirPods themselves, but with the second-gen case that introduced a speaker and the lanyard hole. But other than that, no visual changes since 2019. Well, it turns out that the next version might be a huge update, not just in terms of the design, but also in terms of its function. And speaking of huge updates, Prism Pathway and Arabian Abstracts have just dropped in Wallpapers. These are our 5th and 6th new packs for November, and I think that you guys will absolutely love them. Prism Pathway by Arif is a stunning pack that uses gradients and abstract lines to give the wallpapers a very stock Apple-like look. This one specifically reminds me of the stock iPhone X wallpaper, and it's literally one of my favorite wallpapers that we've ever had in our app. While Arabian Abstracts by Tefreem includes some fine and elegant designs that will look superbly stylish, especially if you have a gold or rose gold phone. You can check both out in our app Wallpapers on iOS and Android today. Now, going back to the big AirPods Pro redesign, this is based on a patent published by the US Patent and Trademark Office back in April of 2023, showing Apple describing an AirPods Pro case with a built-in screen. Now, I know what you're all thinking, AirPods Pro with a screen? That's never going to happen. But the more I looked into it, the more I realized that, hey, they might actually do it. So what I'm holding in my hand right here are the JBL Tour Pro 2 earbuds, and these also have a built-in display. And what this allows you to do is control your earbuds and adjust some of the settings that you would normally need your smartphone for. For example, I can quickly switch between noise cancelling or the transparency modes. I can also quickly adjust the EQ settings straight from here. I can also set a timer. I can also change the spatial audio settings, and probably the best part is that I can also control the music straight from the case. And knowing Apple, they do like doing things a bit differently. So to visualize all this, we've made our own concept of this next-gen AirPods Pro and even designed the UI that allows you to see how all of this would work. So let's start off with the overall design. We kept the same look as the current AirPods Pro. Of course, Apple could tweak this design or even change it entirely, but for the purpose of this video, we've adapted the current design to work with the display. The display itself is entirely flat, with the only exception being the bottom part of the glass, which we did curve a bit to make better use of the vertical space, but the panel underneath it is flat as it would be cheaper to manufacture that way. Oh, and if you travel a lot, you're definitely gonna love this. Ugreen's new 145-watt power bank is the perfect choice for this Black Friday. Its huge 25,000 mAh capacity can easily charge your iPhone 5.5 times or your Nintendo Switch nearly 4.5 times, which is insane for long trips. Ugreen's battery bank also offers up to 100 watts of fast charging with their C1 port for fast charging the M2 MacBook Air or even the 14-inch MacBook Pro, whilst also fast charging your smartphone and smartwatch simultaneously thanks to its total 145-watt power delivery. The battery percentage is easily visible on the mini display, so you can always keep track of when you need to top it off. And keep in mind that this is also airline approved. Check out Ugreen and don't miss out on their Black Friday deal by using the link below. And now, back to the video. And the first thing that you see when you take a look at these AirPods is the lock screen. Here, we've added a time along with the battery levels for both AirPods and the case. Something that you currently do need your iPhone for, and then you also need to be using the battery widget. And then we've also added the owner of the AirPods in the top left, as right now, if you are with a few friends who also have AirPods, unless the cases are engraved, there's no way of telling whose case is whose. Now, once you play a song, the screen will automatically switch to this now playing screen. And what's really cool about this is that you can not only see the name of the track playing, but also the artist, the album cover, and then have all of your controls here for pausing, skipping to the next song, and even scrubbing through the song. something that you cannot do at all on the AirPods alone. And this now playing screen would be dynamic, so depending on what you're listening to, it would automatically update its controls. For example, when you're listening to a podcast, these controls would change to skipping 30 seconds forward or going back 15 seconds. But probably the best part is that Apple could give these AirPods the ability to browse your music directly, without a need of an iPhone anymore. So you could have a screen like this, recently played, where you can scroll left and right to go through your most recent songs and quickly replay them this way. Or they could also give us a playlist selection screen where you could see your top playlists and then play them directly from there. Again, something that just isn't doable right now on the AirPods alone, unless of course you use Siri, which I personally never want to do in public. Adjusting the volume will also be way more precise in this case, and also faster, as you won't have to keep sliding your finger on the AirPods up and down for each volume click. Instead, you'll be able to adjust it similarly to how you can on an iPhone. And you know how currently when you hold on the stem of your AirPods, you can switch between two audio modes? Well, now by having a screen, you'll be able to not just quickly switch between all three audio modes, noise cancelling, transparency, and adaptive, but you'll also be able to quickly toggle features such as conversation awareness and spatial audio on and off. Another cool new feature that would be enabled by this display will likely be the ability to find your individual AirPods. For example, they could have a menu like this that would allow you to select what you want to find, like your AirPods, your iPhone, or even your Apple Watch. And thanks to the ultra-wideband chip inside, you could also get turn-by-turn navigations to your device, something that just isn't possible right now with the current model. The only thing that you can do today is use your iPhone to find the case, but of course, not the other way around. And there are a ton more things and features that Apple could give these AirPods, thanks to the display. From being able to see a visual indicator of when your AirPods are charging, to tons more options when it comes to customizing your listening experience. I think it's quite safe to say that such AirPods would be extremely cool to have. But then at the end of the day, you can do all of these things by simply just taking your iPhone out of your pocket. So why would anyone want to have a screen on their AirPods? Well, I think it's a similar approach to the Apple Watch, where sure, you could just take your iPhone out to see your notifications and messages that way. But sometimes I just find it way more convenient to simply take a look at my wrist and swipe down to see my missed notifications without having to take my iPhone out of my pocket. And it's really the same thing with these AirPods. Sure, you could use your iPhone for everything, but in my case, whenever I'm using my AirPods, my case usually sits on my desk, whereas my iPhone is in my pocket. And for me at least, it would be way more convenient having a screen on the AirPods themselves so that I could browse my music quickly that way, without having to take my iPhone out, open up the music app, and then do it that way. So, okay, when are these AirPods coming out? Well, according to Mark Gurman, Apple will be launching a redesigned version of the AirPods Pro in 2025. So yeah, you will have to wait for a bit. Now, on top of just this redesign, there are a couple of more changes. So there's a faster chip that's rumored, hearing health features, and potentially some other health features too. We did hear some rumors about Apple adding body temperature sensors to each AirPod in the future, so this might be the case with this next-gen version. Of course, this doesn't mean that this next-gen version will be the one with a screen in 2025. So it might be, but at the same time, patents don't always see the light of day. So it could be that Apple only releases this version later, or they might never release it at all. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But regardless of what Apple does, I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Would you buy a version of the AirPods Pros that have a screen built in? And if so, would you actually pay more for that version? As I do have a feeling that when or if Apple releases such AirPods, they will be more expensive than the current $250 price point. But yeah, let me know, what do you guys think? I'm Daniel, this is ZONEofTECH, and I'll see you guys in the next one. ZONEofTECH, signing out. Cheers.